There's a couple different ways to use them. A lot of traders use them to try and trade in between, buy when it hits the lower band, sell when it hits the higher band. That's one way to use them. Another way
Nick, how old are you, Nick?
Is Nick there? Are you listening?
I am here. I am here. I'm giggling.
Nick's just cracking up in the background.
Nick, how old are you?
47.
Okay. Have you heard of battling tops?
No, I did not grow up in this country, so I was playing with bullets and bombs.
With bullets and bombs.
What did you?
What country were you?
What were you playing with?
I was born and raised in Beirut, so my generation is called the sandbags generation. We're playing behind sandbags. In the morning, we go collect mortar bottoms and spent shells. So no, I did not. I do not know spinning tops or whatever that's called.
You would have liked those battling tops back then. That would have been nice over there in Beirut.
Yeah, that would have been nice. I tell you what. Yeah, so pretty funny conversation you guys had going on this morning.
I don't know what's got into me. I guess staying up till midnight is getting me a little giddy here. But Nick, did you do anything going into the Twitter earnings?
I did, and I guessed wrong. I went upside just because of the fact that I've been bombarded by Twitter for the last couple of months in advertising enticements. Do this for your business, do that for your business. Every day I had something from them. So I figured they must. So I was more so looking for actual sales and revenues and bottom line versus number of people using it, because that's what we care about, right? Is it making money? So I guessed wrong. I had a call calendar going, so obviously this week's call is going to be worthless, and probably next week's too. I picked up. I wanted to move up to close to $54 for me to start making money, really. So I'll just it's a lotto ticket. I won't cry over it. It's just to participate. You know me. I like to put the trade on afterwards.
Hey Nick, you're faded in and out a little bit. Could you?
I'll try to do it better. Is this better?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So, all right. How are the other earnings plays working out for you? Any other lottos or not?
I have not done anything major on the lottos, just because I've been pretty busy with the full size trades. I'm trading the indices during the earnings period, and I'm just playing the bounces. I sell credit call spreads when we sell off. I do some credit put spreads to offset them, and I'm booking profits as it comes my way. I'm not overstaying my positions in any which way or form, because we are still headline trading. Even though the Ebola headline on Friday, I wrote up the fact that it's almost dead, because unless we have a new contraction in New York City, for example, as a result as the guy went bowling and stuff. But another healthcare worker contracting it is not going to scare markets much. And another import, as far as a case, is not going to scare traders as much, just because of I think the mystique of contracting it is fading, and also the mystique of it being a 100% killer is also fading.
Nick, what do you think this morning here? We were just talking, I don't know how long you've been listening to the show, before we started joking around. A lot of these earnings reports here, a lot of these stocks that reported pretty decent earnings have turned for the worse. And I'm just looking here. Coach was trading higher, like Joel was saying. It hit $40 in the pre-market, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's trading now below $35 on a pretty okay report. I'm looking at Aetna, which was trading up near $81 just initially. It's given back over 5 points here now. It's now trading back at $76.60. A couple other ones was Corning was trading down here on a pretty decent report. So a lot of smaller companies reporting okay quarters, but they're bashing them.
I think it's the fact that even though we corrected almost 10%, there are still a lot of individual names that are overpriced. Okay. On the coach side, I think the options market were lined up to be between 35 and 36. So what is it trading now, you said?
Just below 35 right now. Still, it's pretty light volume here yet. Actually, it's trading pretty heavy here now. 363,000 shares.
So on the options market for this week, they're not lined up to take it up a lot higher. I don't know the other tickers. I think you mentioned that. No, what is it?
AET, yeah,
AET.
and this one's really turned for the worse, and it's trading really light volume, only 15,000 shares, but it ticked up to 81, and then it was struggling at 80, then it was struggling at 79. We're in the 76 handle here now, and this report was excellent. It was $1.79 versus $1.58, 14.7 billion versus 14.63 billion, and they raised guidance,
Yeah,
and the market's having none of it.
Yeah, I don't know what's the deal there because it has room to run up to like 85, maybe 84, based on the open interest. So it might be just people taking profits. Nobody wants to overstay their welcome. If they guessed it right, they're booking it. I mean, that's what I'm doing. Anything, I made that acronym AGSIB. Any green I see, I book because I cannot trust it. I've had a few trades this year go from really profitable to red in no time. So I do not want to get caught again. So I'm just booking it as I see it. Even though I'm leaving money on the table, I am leaving money on the table, guaranteed. Every week I leave money on the table, but at least every week I have no red to book. So,
Got a
So you
question.
like
Oh, go ahead, Dennis.
I was going to say you like the Harlan Payan theory of sell your peanuts while the circus is in town.
I love that. I've heard it from you guys. I've never heard him say it, but I've heard you guys refer to it all the time and give him credit to it. So.
Okay. Interesting thing happened with KLA Tencor Corporation, and they came out with that $16.50 dividend. That's like
Special dividend.
Yeah, special dividend.
KLAC, right?
Yeah, KLAC, KLA Tencor. Obviously, sitting on a lot of cash. They didn't know what the heck to do with it. Spiked over 78, and when we pull back now, is there any way to take advantage of using the options market they haven't declared it yet, right? So you can still buy the stock and get the dividend. Is there any kind of options plays that can go around that?
I think they have it buttoned up pretty well. They, as in the market makers, you would have to be really slide in order to make that work for your benefit. I was holding. I don't know if you remember, Microsoft started this, or at least to my recollection, they did a $3 thing years ago, and I was holding the stock. And but immediately after they delivered the $3, it drops by $3. So you really have to be a good fox in order to make that work for you, because I think they have it all buttoned up.
What are you looking at here this week? What setups are you looking at here, Nick? Now that Twitter's gone by, what are you looking at?
I'm playing the ranges. It's going to sound boring. I used to say before we had the 9% correction, or 10%, the drop, let's call it, I was bearish on the pops because they were all relief in nature. But this last few, I've given them rope because even though they're relief, they're coming from a lot deeper zone, so they might take a couple of days up. So anytime we have a pop that is mostly on the backs of exaggerated by the outperformance of the momentum stocks, then I sell that via credit call spreads out in time and up above. So I give myself, not necessarily this week or next week, maybe I'll go to November or even December, and I'll do a credit call spread that's way higher, give myself like 5% buffer on the indices. And then when they give it right back the next day, and they have been, the momentum stocks, I just close it by buying it back, and I keep the difference. That's the easy way of trading this chop. You can be a hero and make a lot more money and play the weeklies, but you can also get slapped pretty hard. Like today, we're going to try to run up. That's a shortable pop, in my opinion. I'm listening to the small caps, even though not a lot of people have been. When we were selling hard, the small caps rebounded. They were green 2 days before the broader markets. And I said to everybody that would listen, 2,000 stocks are telling you things are not as bad as, a few select. So, and then, a day later, suddenly everybody realizes that, and we bounce right off of that. So these days, they're lagging. They're not participating on the upside as eagerly as the broader indices, so I'm cautious. So I'm starting to sell some credit call spreads in the indices. I like to go long Google. I like to go long Apple. Those are the ones that actually reported earnings. Even Twitter on the long side now, somebody can take a flyer, maybe buy some deep money calls or leaps and call spreads maybe if you want to be cheap at it. I think you'll make money there. So pick the ones that already reported, develop a thesis on a micro level based on the stock itself, make sure it fits with your macro thesis on where the world is going, and then you'll be okay.
I'll get a question coming out of the chat room here, and this will be a little tough. I'm not sure if you follow this one. Burlington stores now. I don't know if they're going to be affected by the Kohl's news. Aren't they a little bit more of a discounter? Here's a stock trading at all-time highs.
Looking at BURL.
Yeah, I'm sorry, BURL. Made an all-time high last month at 40.80. Hit 40.71 yesterday and backed off here. To me, looking at this chart, I'd like to see this thing plow over 41 and continue up and away. Or if not, I'd be a little cautious. It might come back down. You got any take on Burlington stores?
I don't follow it. I do shop at Kohl's myself. I don't know how they make money because everything is always everything is always almost free, and they give you money, on top of that. Spend 50, get 10, or something like that. It's like what is going on? So Burlington is putting in some higher lows, and it's knocking on the roof. So in theory, if it's a bullish environment and it's a bullish company, the bears will get tired of selling that roof. They've sold it back in mid-September through the end of September, and then now again, two candles that are butting up against that roof from higher lows. So in theory, yes, it wants to break out, and I agree with you. If it does break out, it's got a long way to go. So, but the flip side of that, could it be a double top of sorts, or a couple pokes? And if it fails, and if the market weakens, then it loses a lot of the steam.
You know what else they do at Kohl's? Like you go through there and if you don't have a coupon, they dig in the drawer to give you a coupon. Like
there's so many deals there. It's the only place you go, and the $50 shirt is already discounted like $15, and then you go up to the till, and then oh no, there's another 20% off on that. So I'm already agreed to pay $15, but no, they try to give you more off when you go to check out. So it just honestly costs you like $5 for the $50 shirt. It's unbelievable.
When does Burlington report? Is it in November, during the November expiration? Because I'm looking at a huge call position at the $40 level. I don't know what that's all about. It sticks out like a sore thumb, and that could be a problem for it. So if I was to guess right now, I'd buy puts in that thing.
Okay.
Brentster is the guy that can hunt down the earnings day for us. BURL, Brentster.
Okay.
Can you go hunting
Yes,
for
sir.
us? Brentster is hunting for the date, and just before that, sticking on this Kohl's theme, so they warn here today. And obviously, some of the other retailers are probably going to be down here in sympathy. We were looking at Macy's earlier. We were looking at Nordstrom. Any other thoughts here? Any other stocks that could be down in sympathy here, Nick?
No, because maybe any retail. It doesn't have to be just one of those big guys. But I don't follow the retail environment. So here's my thought. Whenever I hold big positions in certain companies, I always make sure to know when their competition is reporting. So if I'm holding Goldman Sachs or Macy's, I make sure that all the competition's reporting dates are on my calendar, and I exit my positions before then, or I defend them somehow, because the sympathy moves are just as killers as the right move on the earnings themselves for the right company. So I do not trade through the events, any event, Apple release event, Google, whatever, Facebook announcement event, because it's a gamble. You're 50-50 shot whether the market's going to like what they hear or not. And I can't put my money at risk based on a coin flip. So I usually either defend 100% or get out.
I'm seeing that Burlington just reported as of September 9th, so they're probably not going to be reporting till beginning of December.
Yeah.
Yes, we got a ways.
Yep.
There's something going on at $40 call level, and it might be somebody's position hedging some big position in the stock. I'm not sure, but it might stand in the way of a run up.
Gotta ask your thoughts on Apple here. Very tight range the last couple of days here after the report. We've had a dollar range, pretty much a double top in the last 2 days. 104.49 the high 2 days ago, and then 105.48 the high yesterday. And it's trading right here, right now at 105.44. Little wall forming here at 105.50. What's the open interest look like for this week?
Well, last week it defied gravity. It should have been at 100 all week, but it defied gravity all week. And I said, don't short it, don't short it. It could slide, but it doesn't look like it wants to, and I don't want to short it. And this week, it's in full resistance territory. 105 is where the resistance starts, and it's formidable ahead of it. Now, today it got some Alibaba lift, possibly, because they want to play together on the Ali play, or there you go, Ali play. Apple play and Alibaba. And so there might be some more uplift there, temporary, I think. I'm not sure, but it wants to be at 105 or lower. Now, it will not be an anchor on the market, meaning that if the markets move up, it will participate. But if the markets want to sell off, the 100 to 105 has enough open interest that it will act as buff breaks for Apple and will probably prop up the indices a little bit. So even though the open interest generally this week, they want to be a little bit lower in the markets, like around the 1950, 1925, we have something keeping us up higher. So hopefully that something will stay there. Otherwise, there is a little bit of downside coming in the next few days. Nothing disastrous, but definitely downside.
You did mention Alibaba there too, and we are approaching 100 on BABA, up here at 99.64 right now. Have we touched over it, Joel, in the pre-market?
No,
Did we get over that 100?
Ace was pointing out here that it was knocking on the door of the all-time high, but we didn't go into it. I guess that, if you've been holding this thing through the ups and downs, wait, how many up days in a row is this?
It's quite a few here now.
Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like 9 days where it's had at least higher lows.
Well,
Not higher high each day, but a higher low each day.
Well, it's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 higher.
6 up days.
Yeah, six up days.
in a row.
What are you thinking about that one, Nick?
As soon as they came out, it's a buy and hold like Google. I mean, unless they are flat out lying about the company's performance, that's going to be another Google story. So buy it now and hold on to it, and don't even Kramer says, don't trade it. Remember when he says don't trade Apple? So unless they're flat out lying on their performance, I mean, it's a juggernaut.
We've been liking Yahoo off of this too. Do you like Yahoo as well?
I
Because
do not
of
like Yahoo.
You
I
don't
do
like
not.
Yahoo?
No, Yahoo as
They
a
got
company.
so much Baba stock.
Well, then tell me it's an investment company. Then I'll probably like it. But as
Their
Yahoo,
market cap is almost entirely Baba.
yeah. But what is it? What do they do? I have no idea other than email.
So I guess
You
you're
know,
right. So they're just saying the operations are worth next to nothing. So I guess
Well, I don't know what they do.
maybe that's correctly valued.
That's what the
you're
street's
saying.
saying. That's what the street's saying.
And I'm not a believer in Marissa Mayer either. I
Uh,
think everything she says and it's just like the other story. It's nothing concrete to what's going on. It's all generalities. You can apply it to any company. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Well, every company is aspiring to do this and that. Exactly what you're saying. So tell me what exactly are you doing? Tell me what you are. What are you? I mean, we know Google is a search engine and it dabbles in all kinds of crazy stuff. We know Apple is a revolutionary. It takes a technology and makes it incredibly easy to use, incredibly sexy to own. You know these companies, you know what they stand for, you know what they're looking to do in the future. You know that Tesla is trying to revolutionize the auto industry, although I don't see how yet. So, but at least you know what they're doing. You know, Chipotle is, making food healthier, cheaper, better, whatever. I don't know what Yahoo does, so I don't like it as a company. If they tell me it's going to be an investment company, then okay.
And we got Facebook tonight. What are you looking at for Facebook? Made an all-time high, a few days ago. Made an all-time high at 80.82. Next day, 80.83 was the high. Another high at 80.63 here. Would you be tempted to book some profits ahead of today's earnings report?
If I owned it, for sure. But given that I guess strong on Twitter, whatever I say, take the opposite, please.
All right. So what do you?
So pull a Costanza and go the other way. The open interest tells me that it's more resistive. It's an easier path down to 75 than up to 85. So if it does get to 85, 85 and 87 might be trip ups for it. The high open interest is at $80, and it's a little bit resistive. So the bears have a little bit of an edge at $80 and above. So as a matter of fact, it starts at 79, 78 a little bit, 79 a little stronger. So if I were to guess on a pin, based on what I see in the open interest today, it'll be around the $78.50, $79 range, between 77 and 79. But if I have profits, I would definitely protect them. Either book them or buy some puts as a lotto or something.
Okay. All right. We've had Nic Chahine on the line, and Nick comes to us every Tuesday on Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep, brought to you by Charles Schwab. He's a MarketFi maven and author of Create Income with Option Spread. Nick, thanks for coming on, adding to our lively conversation this morning, and we will be speaking to you next week.
Highlight of my week, fellas.